The importance of mental strength. Mental strength is one of the most valuable qualities that help us navigate through life. It acts like an inner power that allows us to persevere, especially when faced with tough situations. When we encounter challenges, mental strength can be more important than raw talent or skills because it keeps us going even when things seem difficult. This quality not only helps us stay focused on our goals but also empowers us to tackle problems with determination. By cultivating mental strength, we become more resilient, bouncing back from setbacks more effectively. In this discussion, we explore how certain habits can weaken our minds and how we can overcome them by applying key principles from Buddhism. These teachings offer profound insights into how we can strengthen our mental resilience and shift from habits that drain our energy to those that empower us. By learning and embracing these teachings, we can set ourselves on a path to a more grounded and powerful mindset. The trap of a negative mindset. A negative mindset is like carrying an invisible weight that holds us back. When we focus on the negative aspects of life, it clouds our judgment and steals our happiness. This mindset can be particularly damaging because it causes us to overlook the positive things happening around us. It's as if we're wearing dark glasses that make everything seem dull and uninviting, even the beautiful moments. If we constantly expect failure or disappointment, we might even stop trying altogether, afraid of what might happen next. Buddhism offers a helpful perspective to combat negativity. One key practice is mindfulness, which encourages us to observe our thoughts without judgment. Instead of allowing negative thoughts to take over, we learn to acknowledge them and then redirect our focus toward more positive aspects. It's like clearing away a storm cloud to let the sunlight shine through again. Another practice to transform negativity is the meditation of loving kindness, or metta. By sending warm, compassionate thoughts to ourselves and others, we can replace negativity with a sense of peace and connection. Buddhism also teaches us the concept of impermanence, the understanding that everything changes. Difficult moments are temporary, just like the good ones. This awareness helps us stay resilient, knowing that challenges won't last forever. By embracing these Buddhist practices, we can break free from negative thinking and cultivate a mindset of strength and optimism. Complaining about what we can't control. When we complain about things beyond our control, it's like holding on to a burning coal. It only causes harm to ourselves. Complaining keeps us stuck in a cycle of frustration, focusing on what's wrong instead of finding ways to improve the situation. It's as if we're sinking deeper into quicksand every time we give in to complaining. Buddhism offers wisdom on how to break free from this cycle. One of the key lessons is understanding the nature of impermanence. Everything in life changes, and that includes difficult situations. Complaining often keeps us stuck in a mindset where we believe that nothing will ever improve, when in reality, change is always happening. Instead of holding on to complaints, we can practice acceptance, understanding that there are things we cannot change, and that's okay. This is like learning to dance in the rain rather than complaining about the storm. Buddhism also encourages us to focus on what we can control. Even in challenging times, there are always aspects of a situation where we have influence. By shifting our mindset from passive complaining to active problem solving, we empower ourselves to take positive action. The practice of letting go is another important Buddhist principle. Letting go doesn't mean giving up, it means releasing the unnecessary burdens we carry and making room for growth and change. By integrating these teachings into our lives, we can break free from the habit of complaining and take a more active, positive approach to life. The consequences of not expressing yourself. not expressing ourselves is like hiding away a treasure chest filled with valuable gems. When we bottle up our thoughts and feelings, it weighs on our minds and prevents us from connecting with others. It's as if we're walking through a dark room without a light. Everything feels confusing and overwhelming. We keep everything inside, and as a result, stress and anxiety can build up, leading to emotional outbursts or feelings of frustration. In Buddhism, authentic expression is considered vital for mental well-being. Holding back our emotions and thoughts is similar to shaking up a bottle of soda. It builds pressure, and eventually, it might explode in unhealthy ways. The practice of right speech teaches us to communicate with mindfulness, kindness, and truthfulness. This helps us build stronger, more authentic relationships by ensuring that our words contribute to understanding and connection. Buddhism also teaches us the value of mindfulness in communication. By being mindful, we become more aware of our thoughts and feelings, allowing us to express ourselves clearly and compassionately. Expression isn't limited to words alone. Nonverbal communication, such as body language and facial expressions, also plays a crucial role. By becoming aware of how we express ourselves, we can better connect with others and ensure that our interactions are authentic. Incorporating these practices into our lives helps us break free from the habit of bottling up emotions. By expressing ourselves more openly, we cultivate deeper relationships and foster mental clarity. The habit of blaming others for our problems. Blaming others for our struggles is like trying to run a race with a heavy backpack full of rocks. It slows us down and holds us back. This habit weakens our mental strength because it takes away our power to change. It's as if we're handing over the steering wheel of our lives to someone else, waiting for them to drive us to a better place. Buddhism offers us a different perspective. The law of karma teaches that our actions have consequences. When we blame others for our problems, we fail to recognize that we also play a role in shaping our experiences. Blame makes us passive spectators in our own lives, rather than active participants who can take control and make positive changes. Taking personal responsibility is a crucial step toward mental empowerment. By recognizing that we have the power to shape our lives, we become like the captain of our own ship. While we can't always control the storms we face, we can choose how we navigate through them. The practice of forgiveness is also essential for freeing ourselves from the grip of blame. Forgiveness doesn't mean that we excuse harmful actions, but it allows us to release resentment and move forward with a lighter heart. Mindfulness helps us recognize when we're tempted to blame others and gives us the awareness to choose a more empowering response. By embracing personal responsibility, we strengthen our mental resilience and regain control over our lives. The dangers of fantasizing instead of visualizing. Fantasizing is like building castles in the air, beautiful but impractical. When we get lost in fantasies, we're focusing on unrealistic dreams that don't have a solid foundation. This habit weakens our minds because it disconnects us from the present moment and the practical steps needed to make our dreams a reality. It's as though we're chasing mirages in the desert, believing we're headed towards something that will never actually materialize. Buddhism teaches us that it's not about wishing for ideal outcomes, but rather about setting clear intentions and taking intentional actions to achieve our goals. Fantasies often keep us stuck in wishful thinking, while visualization grounds us in reality and allows us to see the steps we can take to bring our dreams to life. Visualization isn't about daydreaming, it's about creating a mental roadmap that helps us move toward our aspirations. The Buddhist principle of right action plays a key role in transforming fantasies into achievable goals. By setting clear, practical steps, we align our efforts with the reality of our circumstances. The Buddhist teachings on impermanence remind us that nothing stays the same, and we must be flexible in our approach. Just like riding a wave, we adapt to the ever-changing nature of life rather than clinging to an idealized image of the future. Mindfulness is a powerful tool to help us shift from fantasies to visualization. It brings our awareness to the present moment and helps us focus on what we can do now to move forward. Instead of getting lost in dreams, mindfulness keeps us anchored, guiding our thoughts and actions toward realistic and positive outcomes. By applying these Buddhist teachings, we can move away from ungrounded fantasies and instead embrace a practical, focused approach to achieving our goals. Visualization rooted in reality helps us maintain a sense of direction and clarity, empowering us to create lasting change in our lives. Neglecting personal relationships. Neglecting personal relationships is like having a garden but never watering the plants. Over time, everything begins to wither. Relationships are essential to our mental and emotional well-being, and without them, we become isolated and disconnected. It's like trying to sail a boat without wind. While we might make some progress, it's a slow and lonely journey. Meaningful connections are what give our lives depth and joy. The teachings of Buddhism emphasize the importance of human connection and encourage us to cultivate relationships with care. When we neglect our relationships, misunderstandings and distance grow, just as weeds overtake an unattended garden. Relationships require effort, attention, and presence to thrive, much like nurturing a garden. When we show up for the people we care about, it strengthens the bond and nourishes our own mental health. Buddhism teaches us to value the time we have with others because life is impermanent. Understanding that time with loved ones is limited encourages us to cherish and prioritize these connections. Instead of allowing relationships to fade due to neglect, we can focus on being present and invested in the well-being of those we care about. Presence is like sunlight for relationships, it helps them grow and flourish. By spending quality time with others, we nurture the bond and reinforce the support system that is crucial for mental strength. Communication is also vital in any relationship. Just as the wind fills the sails of a boat, effective communication propels relationships forward. It helps us understand each other more deeply and build mutual support. Incorporating these teachings into our lives encourages us to step out of isolation and invest time and energy in the relationships that matter most. By doing so, we create a strong emotional support network that enhances our mental resilience and enriches our journey through life. Letting emotions control us. Letting emotions rule us is like being carried away by a powerful current in a river. Our direction and control are lost. When we allow our emotions to dictate our actions, we risk making decisions based on fleeting feelings rather than thoughtful reflection. This can lead to impulsive actions that we might later regret. It's as though we're in a storm without a compass, losing sight of our path. In Buddhism, mindfulness is key to managing emotions. Instead of reacting impulsively to our feelings, we can take a step back and observe them with curiosity and awareness. It's like standing on the shore, watching the water flow without being swept away. This practice allows us to create space between stimulus and reaction, enabling us to respond in a calm and mindful way rather than being controlled by emotional impulses. Emotional intelligence is a vital skill for mental strength. It involves recognizing, understanding, and managing our emotions in a way that leads to wise action. Buddhism teaches us to practice loving kindness, a form of meditation that cultivates compassion for ourselves and others. This practice helps us approach emotions with kindness, rather than judgment, allowing us to process difficult feelings without being overwhelmed. By embracing emotional intelligence, we gain the ability to navigate through life's emotional challenges with resilience and clarity. Rather than being at the mercy of emotional storms, we learn to steer our emotional ship with mindfulness and compassion, leading to a steady course toward emotional balance. The need for control. Trying to control every aspect of life is like juggling too many balls at once. Eventually, we're bound to drop them. This habit weakens our mental strength because it sets us up for frustration and disappointment. It's like trying to catch the wind, impossible and exasperating. The constant need to control everything leaves us feeling powerless and exhausted. Buddhism offers profound wisdom on letting go of the need for control. The concept of non-attachment teaches us that clinging to the illusion of control only creates unnecessary suffering. It's like trying to hold on to clouds that are always changing. We can't control everything, and trying to do so only leads to stress. Instead, we can focus on what we can influence and surrender the rest. Surrendering control doesn't mean giving up, it means accepting the flow of life and trusting that things will unfold as they are meant to. It's like planting seeds in a garden and trusting that the weather will bring the rain or sun needed for growth, even though we can't control it. When we release our grip on the need to control, we free ourselves from unnecessary tension and allow space for things to evolve naturally. Mindfulness is an important ally in this process. It helps us stay present and focused on what we can do, while letting go of the rest. By practicing mindfulness, we become more accepting of uncertainty and change. Learning to navigate life with grace and resilience, by embracing non-attachment and releasing the need for control, we paradoxically find greater strength. It's like opening our hands to receive whatever life has to offer, rather than clinging to fixed outcomes. This shift allows us to experience life with greater ease, confidence, and freedom. Dwelling on the past, focusing too much on the past is like carrying a heavy backpack full of old memories and regrets. It slows us down and weighs us down, making the journey through life more difficult. This habit weakens our minds because it keeps us stuck in what's already happened, preventing us from fully embracing the present moment or looking forward to the future. It's like driving while constantly looking in the rearview mirror. By focusing on what's behind us, we risk missing what's ahead. Buddhism teaches us the importance of living in the present. The practice of mindfulness encourages us to be aware of what's happening now, letting go of the grip that past experiences have on us. It's like opening the windows of a stuffy room and letting in fresh air. Letting go of the past frees us from its hold and creates space for new experiences and growth. When we continue to dwell on past mistakes, hurts, or missed opportunities, it's like keeping a wound covered in a bandage long after it has healed. The wound may be healed, but the emotional weight we carry still lingers, making it harder to move forward. By practicing forgiveness, toward both others and ourselves, we allow ourselves to step into the present without carrying the burden of old wounds. The Buddhist principle of impermanence teaches us that everything is always changing. Just as a river constantly flows and never stays the same, our past is not something that should be frozen in time. Holding on to the past is like trying to freeze the river. It becomes stagnant and loses its vitality. By accepting that everything changes, including our experiences and emotions, we can let go of past attachments and embrace the flow of life. Self-compassion is an essential practice in overcoming the habit of dwelling on the past. It's like offering yourself the same kindness you would give to a friend who's struggling. We all deserve to be treated with understanding and compassion, especially when it comes to forgiving ourselves. The past can become a teacher instead of a jailer, something we learn from rather than something that limits us. By incorporating mindfulness, forgiveness, and self-compassion into our lives, we can break free from the chains that tie us to the past. We create space for new opportunities and a renewed sense of freedom, allowing ourselves to fully embrace the present and look forward to the future with open arms. Worrying about what others say and do, constantly worrying about what others think or do is like carrying a heavy backpack filled with other people's thoughts and judgments. This habit weakens our minds because it ties our self-worth to external opinions, making us feel as though our value is based on others' approval. It's like sailing a boat that gets tossed around by every passing wave. Each judgment or opinion pulls us in different directions. Buddhism offers valuable insights into how to break free from this constant worry. The practice of equanimity helps us remain calm and balanced, no matter what others say or do. It's like standing on solid ground while the winds of praise or criticism blow around us. Instead of being blown away by the opinions of others, we stay rooted in our own sense of self-worth. When we focus too much on what others think, we allow ourselves to be influenced by external forces. It's like building a house on shaky ground. Each passing storm of judgment weakens the structure. By cultivating equanimity, we can stay grounded in our truth, unaffected by others' fleeting opinions. Buddhism teaches us the importance of self-acceptance and authenticity. It's like wearing clothes that fit you perfectly, rather than trying to wear something that doesn't suit your true self. When we accept ourselves fully, we no longer need to seek validation from others. We begin to express ourselves genuinely. Free from the pressure to conform to external expectations, mindfulness is a powerful practice for overcoming the habit of worrying about what others say and do. It allows us to become aware of our thoughts and feelings without becoming entangled in them. When we worry about others' opinions, it's like being lost in a maze of judgments. Mindfulness acts as a guiding light, helping us find our way back to our authentic selves. To overcome this habit, we must practice self-love. By nurturing our own worth and embracing our unique qualities, we build a protective shield against the arrows of criticism. It's like planting seeds of kindness within ourselves, which grow into a garden of self-acceptance. When we know and love ourselves, we no longer rely on others' opinions to define our worth. Incorporating equanimity, authenticity, and self-love into our lives helps us break free from the mental weakness of worrying about what others think. By embracing our true selves and trusting our worth, we can navigate through life with greater strength and resilience, guided by our own inner compass. The path to mental strength. Integrating Buddhist teachings. The journey to mental strength involves recognizing the habits that weaken our minds and taking steps to break free from them. Buddhism offers a powerful framework to help us understand why these habits form and how we can overcome them. Through mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom, we can transform negative patterns into opportunities for growth. By embracing mindfulness, we learn to observe our thoughts, emotions, and actions without judgment. This awareness gives us the ability to respond thoughtfully, rather than reacting impulsively. When we cultivate compassion toward ourselves and others, we create a foundation of love and understanding that supports our mental resilience. And through wisdom, we learn to navigate life with clarity and purpose, making decisions that align with our deepest values. Buddhism teaches us that change is constant and inevitable. By embracing impermanence, we develop flexibility and adaptability, allowing us to face life's challenges with resilience. Rather than clinging to rigid expectations or outcomes, we learn to flow with life, trusting that things will unfold as they are meant to. By incorporating these teachings into our daily lives, we can break free from the mental habits that keep us stuck and develop a mindset of strength, clarity, and compassion. This transformative journey empowers us to take charge of our own mental well-being, navigating life with purpose, authenticity, and joy. Conclusion: embracing the wisdom of Buddhism, the wisdom found in Buddhist teachings offers a powerful path to overcoming mental habits that weaken us. By embracing practices such as mindfulness, self-compassion, and equanimity, we can break free from negative patterns and cultivate enduring mental strength. Through these teachings, we learn to navigate life with greater resilience, clarity, and purpose. As we embark on this journey of transformation, we can look to the lessons of Buddhism as a guide. With mindfulness, we stay grounded in the present, with compassion, we nurture our hearts, and with wisdom, we navigate life with clarity and intention. This holistic approach to mental strength empowers us to embrace the full richness of life, no matter the challenges we may face. By integrating these teachings into our daily lives, we not only cultivate our own mental strength but also create a ripple effect that can positively impact those around us. The wisdom of Buddhism invites us to live with greater awareness, compassion, and purpose, transforming our minds and our lives in the process. Thank you for watching until the end. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the impact of these habits on mental strength. Have you faced challenges with any of these patterns? Your insights are valuable to us, and we appreciate hearing your experiences.